It's a common feeling in many workplaces. There's a constant hum of activity, a sense of always being in motion, and yet, somehow, there's also a strange lack of real progress.
If you look at any team, you'll almost certainly see the signs. Keyboards are clicking, messages are constantly being sent, and discussions seem to be happening all the time.
And then there are the schedules. They're just packed, usually blocked out with back-to-back commitments that require everyone to be present and participating, from 1 hour to the next.
So, from the outside looking in, the whole organization seems like a hive of continuous effort. You can just feel the energy being spent, all day, every day.
But with all of this visible work, the most important projects, the big goals, they often seem to move forward at a crawl. So that brings up the central question.
Well, this disconnect, it usually isn't about how hard people are working or what their intentions are. The real cause is often found in the underlying structure of the organization itself.
You see, every organization runs on some kind of structure. It's a formal system that's designed to do two things: assign responsibility and coordinate all the work needed to hit its goals.
And a really essential function of this whole system is to figure out and to evaluate the contributions of the people working inside of it.
But here's where the challenge pops up. With really complex work, the true value of someone's contribution, say in knowledge work or a creative project, is actually very hard to see and measure in the moment.
So when the actual results are hard to pin down, the system does the logical thing. It defaults to measuring proxies, things that are simple indicators of effort, things that are easy to observe.
This sets off a very clear chain of events. First, people feel pressure to show their value. Second, the system measures what's most visible. And so, third, people's effort naturally shifts toward tasks that are easy for others to see.
And this really highlights a crucial difference. On one hand, you have activities, like sending an email or going to a meeting. They're immediate, they're simple to report, and they're easy to see. But on the other hand, you have outcomes. Those are often slow to appear, they can be really complex to explain, and they're much harder to see. The system, naturally, is going to favor measuring the activities. The result is a powerful incentive. To be seen as a valuable contributor within this kind of system, you have to maintain an appearance of constant, urgent work.
Now, people are logical. They respond to the environment they're in. So they adapt their behavior to line up with what the organization seems to value, and more importantly, what it can actually see. This tends to encourage some very specific behaviors. People might prioritize tasks that aren't very important but look like work. They might start a new project before an old one is done because starting something is a very visible action. And critically, that deep, focused work, the kind of complex problem-solving that doesn't necessarily look busy, often gets pushed aside.
The constant pressure to show a high volume of activity can also encourage people to take shortcuts. These might get tasks done faster, but they can end up compromising the quality of the final result.
Over time, a big chunk of the organization's most valuable resources, we're talking about its collective time, focus, and energy, gets shifted away from achieving outcomes and toward simply demonstrating effort.
And that brings this whole dynamic full circle. The system ends up creating a self-reinforcing cycle of motion, where being constantly active becomes the goal itself, instead of being the way you achieve real progress.
Ultimately, the structure becomes optimized to recognize and reward what's easy to observe. This creates a fundamental trade-off, where the performance of work can take priority over the achievement of tangible results.